to the channel. In this video I'm going to give you 5 quick tips to help you improve your cornering on the road. I think the first thing to bear in mind is these are key points for cornering on the road, so it's going to keep you safe but allow you to keep a nice progressive pace as well on the road. And the 5 tips are these: position on approach, speed and assessing the speed for the corner, getting the right gear for the corner, smooth steering and matching the acceleration to the steering. So let's go through these one at a time. The first one is position. So on the road we're looking to maximise our view on the way in towards a corner. The best way we can do that is get in the correct position on approach to the corner, quite early sometimes. So what do we mean by correct position? Well, for a left-hander here, we've got a slight left-hander coming up. The best position is towards the centre of the road, towards the offside. It allows me to look around the corner a little bit better. The next corner is a right-hander. For that I'm going to position near side, the best part of the near side, not right in the gutter, not right in the grids, but the best part of the near side. And again, that allows me to, it's like leaning left to look around the corner. It gives me a better view around the corner. What these positions also do is they start the process of slightly straightening the corner. So if you get your line correct through the corner then, from that first initial positioning, you're not turning as sharp, you're not asking as much from the tyres or from the car's suspension. So near side or left for a right hand bend, offside or right for a left hand bend. Get your position correct on approach. The second tip will help you in assessing the speed for a corner. So on the road we only get one chance at a corner to assess the speed on approach, and we use the limit point. I've done a really detailed video on limit points, but to describe it very briefly, it's the furthest point you can see the road. It's where the view of the road disappears around the corner. And all I want you to do, let's simplify it, all I want you to do is look at that distance, look at the distance between you and that limit point and ask yourself, can I stop? If the answer is yes, I can stop easily in that distance, then your speed's okay going into the corner. If it's not, then you're too quick. If you couldn't stop, you're too quick. So the simplest way to assess your speed for this right-hander is we're going to position near side on approach. I'm on the brakes looking at the limit point. Can I stop in that distance? Yes, I can, so my speed is okay. That summarises how we use limit points, but go and have a look at the other video that I've done. The link's below. Looks at limit points in a lot more detail for assessing your speed on the way in towards corners. The third tip is to get the right gear on approach, not while you're halfway around the corner. So get your speed right, get the right gear, and the right gear is a gear that is flexible. And it remains flexible all the way through the corner. So that means it's not too high that the car's slugging around the corner and struggling, but it's not too low that the car is running out of revs and you're having to change up again halfway through the corner. Now in this car with a DCT gearbox, maybe that's not as important because it's easy to change gear, but still we want to keep the car as balanced as we can through the corner. So I want a gear that's going to take me all the way through the corner until we're on to the next straight, and then we can decide whether we need another gear after that. So when you're choosing your gear, look for the gear that's most flexible, that will take you all the way through the corner without running out of revs, but won't have the car struggling. The fourth point is steering. Now it's really, really important, especially when you're driving at speed, but actually at any time, and especially for your passengers' comfort and to keep the car balanced and safe. We want our steering action to be nice and smooth. One of the very first videos I did, I think it might have been the first video that I did when I started this channel, was about steering. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. I sound a bit amateurish because I've been doing it for a bit longer now, these kind of videos, but you'll get the point. The steering needs to be really smooth. Imagine a pendulum on a clock swinging. Imagine that the badge in the middle of your steering wheel is the fulcrum of that pendulum, and imagine how it moves. It starts at the top of its swing nice and slowly, builds speed up, and then slows down again towards the end of its swing. That's how I want you to turn the steering wheel. Not too concerned about the technique you use. You can hold it here, you can hold it here, you can use pull push steering if you want, you can use a fixed grip on the steering if you want. But keep in mind that pendulum, that's the action that we're looking to do with the steering, nice and smooth. And we're doing it even at low speeds, look, nice smooth input. We're not suddenly taking the steering off, suddenly putting the steering input in. That'll unsettle the car. We want to really avoid unsettling the car. And the fifth tip, and this is the one that, honestly, when I'm doing driver coaching, this is a thing that most people take from the day with me more than anything else, is the timing of the application of the gas when you turn into a corner. Most people will turn into a corner still decelerating, maybe even braking, and they might pick the gas up a third of the way, 2/3 of the way into the corner. They might pick the gas up at the apex. What's this fan doing here? But they tend to decelerate up to that point and still decelerating when they're turning the wheel. Try and change that. Try and sort everything on approach to the corner, so at the very moment you start to turn the steering wheel, you're starting to introduce the gas. We've gone position, speed, we've got the right gear, a nice flexible gear, but then as you turn the steering wheel, the very second that you start to turn that steering wheel, you should start to just introduce a little bit of gas. So there's a couple of real advantages from that. One of those is that you are minimising the weight movements of the car. All you're doing is moving the weight to the left and to the rear in one movement. It's like a diagonal movement. Rather than 1, 2, 3, it's just one diagonal movement. And the other thing you're doing is you're encouraging the rear end of the car to grip. And steering feel and steering accuracy is very much tied in to how much grip you've got on the rear axle. How much grip have those rear tyres got with the road? Most people who lose control of a car on the road because they're going too fast in a corner do so because they lift off the gas halfway through a corner, or they press the brakes halfway through a corner. And that throws the car's weight forward, it unsettles the rear, and the car starts to lose control. So I want the car just gently planted with a little bit of gentle acceleration right at the start of the corner, and then keep that on all the way through the corner and keep building that acceleration up. Now, if that means you have to go in a little bit slower, so be it. That's the right technique for the road. So those are my 5 tips for cornering on the road. Go and try and put them into practice next time you're out driving. You don't need to be driving fast. Just driving at a normal pace. All those principles can be applied, and you'll find that you end up adopting a nice, smooth, flowing pace along the road. The car becomes an extension of you. It's communicating with you nicely. Get a good feel for what the road's doing. And more important than anything else, you don't go outside of your own ability levels. And you put those things into practice, you find that your pace becomes really nice and safe and quick, flow along the road, and you're never in any danger of going outside what you or your car is capable of. So that's it for this video, 5 tips for cornering. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go and have a look at the website, reglocal.com. Loads more information there about advanced and performance driving and motorcycling. And give us a follow on Twitter as well, @RegLocal. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.